We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Lester Cotton, Miami Dolphins, backup left guard who came in and played in this game after Isaiah Wynn got hurt, and it was not very pretty. I think, this was a big mismatch. Now, I don't want to, be too harsh on the player because it was a very tough challenge coming into Philadelphia, but he did struggle a lot in this one. I think looking at it for the offensive line, obviously if Connor Williams is healthy, he plays the center position, and then for me, I would put Robert Jones at left guard. I think he would be your best option for weeks, not Eichenberg or Lester Cotton. I think Robert Jones was pretty solid last year, and in the preseason, I thought him and Isaiah Wynn were very close with how they played, so I would definitely like to see Robert Jones, especially if he's healthy. I know he had the MCL sprain, but I think he's returned it, but Lester Cotton's struggling here he struggled versus Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. It didn't really matter. He just, they're sliding to the right here, and he takes that first initial step to the inside, but 41 drops, and then since then he goes to the outside. It almost looks like he takes his eyes off 98, and then he bumps into the left tackle, then gives up this huge inside lane. Just seems like he's making some mental mistakes here, and then he didn't have the power or the athleticism to recover in this specific scenario, and then it ends up getting, Tua gets this great throw and anticipation out to Waddle. Also, the route spacing mistake. This is just good work by Tua. He's facing pressure right away. The receivers are messing up, running their routes to the same space, but he still gets the completion. Also, shout out to it, taking a hit, staying healthy. He stayed healthy through 7 weeks, which I think is a great thing. Hopefully that continues. But, got to give him some credit there because people did not expect that. And I feel like that's one of the biggest storylines of the season for the Dolphins, and it hasn't really been talked about. But the O-line definitely needs to get better. I mean, to be fair, they are playing next to Eichenberg. I do want to see what some of these other interior linemen would look like playing next to Connor Williams, maybe to improve. I feel like if Lester Cotton did have to start again, it would definitely be better, but I would prefer to see Robert Jones next time. And I feel like, Cotton had been pretty good at, with his processing, but, he clearly was not ready coming into this game because gets called back from holding, and this is holding. This is just not something they were really calling on both sides, but here, he's just late to see it. I think I like the initial part of this, passing this off, but he's got to be better. He sees it the whole way. He just doesn't get to it quick enough. He's got to throw it off now and then get over, but he does it too late. He does too long throwing off the initial, game here, and then he's just too late. Hooks him around the neck just enough. I mean, this happened on the Eagles' offensive line 3 times and didn't call it, but this is definitely a hold, and it should be called, but this just takes away a touchdown, multiple points coming off the board just because the offensive line was not having their best game of the season. I think the right side of the line, I think Austin Jackson, I thought Robert Hunt, I thought they had pretty good games. Giving credit to them. I might do a film breakdown on them later in the week as well. Lots of credit to Austin Jackson. He's been so much better this year. And Robert Hunt, been one of the best right guards in the league. But I do think the center and the left side of the line struggled a little bit in this game, which I think was expected, being them all being backups and not playing together, not having the experience together. And they're playing a very good Eagles defensive front. This is the 3rd and 18, the big throw to Cedric Wilson. Credit to Tua, credit to Cedric getting open. But the O-line, got to give him, it's the 3rd and 18. You got to give the quarterback time in these situations. Could have been, maybe cleaner, but I do like the recovery ability here because I believe this is Carter. I think 98 is Carter. And he wins the initial rep against him. He has to get out to Carter as a 4 tech, and he kind of misses, gets wide with his hands, and Carter slices him down. He gets a little bit overextended, but he's able to recover. Lamb gives him a little bit of help, and then he uses a little bit of a trap technique to throw him to the ground. If he's going to be this far off balance, just basically use your momentum to throw him to the ground like that. That's not a penalty on your offense. So not the cleanest rep technique-wise, but he is able to recover and at least have a better rep. I, don't have a ton of confidence in these specific 2 players, but it wasn't like it was every single play is bad, but it was definitely a struggle for that interior left side of the line. This might have been Lester Cotton's cleanest rep just versus the defensive tackle one-on-one. He got up the ball quickly to Jeff Wilson, getting him a catch there, but it was pretty nice, just straight up verse number 90, just 3 tech. I think this is, some backup players, but he gets engaged. Good hand placement. Base is decent. He gets in control here. He gets a little bit overextended at this point, bending maybe a little bit too much there, but now he's playing half the man, widening this guy, and he's able to, sort of reset those hands underneath. That's good technique right there to reset quickly. You can see how he's above right here. He has the little too high a leverage. Look how he just quickly resets underneath, and now he's back to winning this battle, giving Tua enough of a pocket to at least, dump it off down to your running back. So I think there's some nice things you can look at in this film and, work from that, but definitely think Robert Jones is the guy you want out there to give your team the best chance of basically being the same thing with Isaiah Wynn out there. I do think Isaiah Wynn was playing really good as in pass protection, but he was probably the weakest run blocker on their team, to be fair. So maybe they get better run blocking wise with Robert Jones out there, maybe to that left side of the line. Like Isaiah Wynn was more of a, getting a position, good athlete, but would get overpowered at times. Here we get Lester Cotton one-on-one out in space. I don't think, they weren't terrible as run blockers, Eichenberg and Cotton in this game. The Dolphins just didn't need to run the ball, or they couldn't run. They tried to run some pitches early, and their defensive ends blew up those plays, and they just kind of went away from it. Then they ran the ball pretty decent in the second half. Here's that big Tyreek Hill play. This is a decent job, one-on-one with 94. He had his struggles early. He definitely turned it around, but it was still he still got beat on some reps, and even his best reps weren't perfect technique-wise. He would get overpowered at time, but he does his job long enough for Tua to drop an absolute dime to Tyreek Hill. As an example of him getting beat versus the run, the Dolphins try to keep running, toss plays, whether it was wind back, just straight crack toss. And here, 90, it's a tough ask, to be fair, to a shaded one tech for him to reach him like this, but he just is not quick enough off the ball. This is where you kind of miss Isaiah Wynn, because he's got very good lateral quickness and could at least get his body there. But 90's able to shoot up field and really slow this down. Hassan Reddick also is able to reset the line of scrimmage versus Durham Smythe, and they just did a good job slowing down the Dolphins' run game. I feel like that's where they got to go next week versus the Patriots. Go back to your running game, get that consistently, and I knew it wouldn't work against the Eagles. That's just how it was. I think, if you get Connor Williams back, you're much more comfortable with your running game. Versus the Patriots, they looked good in their first matchup versus them, and then you really need Achane back as well. Just need to get healthy overall. Obviously, you want to see this guy step up, and no team's 100% healthy, but they can definitely, I think, just get better straight up just from guys coming back. Here's Cotton again, messing up on a twist. The stunt work, the whole time. This was the Tyreek Hill drop touchdown. Still unbelievably. They had so many missed opportunities in this game. But they're showing pressure up front, mugging this A-gap with this linebacker. He sees it right away. He takes his first step to the inside just in case 52 comes. He doesn't, so now he gets out to 93. But he gets turned around, 93. He takes way too long. He doesn't see this work coming in, running that TE stunt. And he's just late the whole time. Cotton give it multiple pressures like this. But, to be fair, I think Tua responded on all of them. He had the Waddle completion. The other one just got called for holding, but it was a Tyreek touchdown. This one should have been another Tyreek touchdown. So, I did see a thing, people saying Tua struggled with pressure. I don't think he did. I thought Tua played great in this game. Really great. I know if you watch my video on the offense, you'll see my thoughts on the whole thing. But, he was dealing. The one interception, partially his fault, but I think it's not as simple as that. There was, pretty clearly some PI, but also the wrong routes being ran. Darius Slay should have never even been in that area to get that interception. Cotton just lost too many reps straight one-on-one right away. Just being in, another area where it should have been another completion. On all these plays, they all should have been big plays, and they were all just missed opportunities. Tua put a great ball to Tyreek here that should be caught. He's not, not open or anything, but Cotton versus a 3-tech, you can't get beat to the inside like this, straight up this A-gap. Your first step's this way, but he gave up too much room. He overextends a little bit. His hands are wide, and then he just gets tossed to the side. Club swim move over the top. He gives, Tua still gets the ball quickly because it's a quick step drop. Throw that over the middle. Good ball placement, but there's too many reps like this. That's not, literally if you watched Isaiah Wynn play, I don't think he had any rep like this the entire season at all when he had one-on-one in space. He would lose, but it would not be this quickly to the inside when he has that natural leverage advantage. I think if you see Robert Jones out there, I've made videos on Robert Jones in the past. If you want to go watch those, maybe I'll make one this week. I'm going to try to make one on maybe the guys who are returning, and I think we'll play this week, maybe Nick Needham, Robert Jones, maybe even Ramsey. Maybe do that next week because I don't know if Ramsey's going to play this week. But just want to see guys who return, see how they'll fit into what this team's doing this year. And I think Robert Jones fits in very nicely, and I think he's showed a lot of promise for what I've seen. So want to see Robert Jones out there. I think with Robert Jones at left guard and Connor Williams at center, this offensive line could still play at the same level they were with Isaiah Wynn. And just need Connor Williams is probably the biggest key. I think anyone at left guard is going to look better next to Connor Williams. And honestly, if Connor Williams is at center and they don't want to go Robert Jones, I could see them going Eichenberg too, which I don't not a huge fan of that move. I think you go Robert Jones first for sure if he's healthy. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.